People spoke of an organ reseller, a nameless entity who operated in the shadows, preying on the desperate and the vulnerable. The stories were grim, and the details were grotesque, but my morbid curiosity pushed me deeper into this dark abyss. I had learned about a hidden website, the Organ Bazaar, a place where human lives were reduced to commodities. Transactions took place under the guise of anonymity, and the organ reseller was the puppet master, orchestrating this gruesome symphony. His reputation was legendary. They called him the Harvest Master. The deeper I dug, the more I uncovered. The Harvest Master was said to have connections with unscrupulous doctors, corrupt officials, and even criminal organizations. His network stretched far and wide, making him nearly untouchable. But I was determined to unveil the truth, to expose this malevolent figure for the monster he was. One fateful night, as I scoured the forums for leads, a private message popped up on my screen. The sender's identity was concealed, a mere jumble of numbers and symbols. The message contained a chilling proposition. If you seek the Harvest Master, meet me at midnight, at the abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. My heart raced as I considered the risks, but the allure of unraveling this mystery was too strong to resist. I agreed to the clandestine meeting, my palms sweating as I typed my response. That night I arrived at the decrepit warehouse. It stood like a grotesque sentinel against the moonlit sky, shrouded in an eerie silence. The only sound was the faint rustling of leaves in the wind. I cautiously entered, my footsteps echoing through the empty space. In the dimly lit interior, a figure emerged from the shadows. The stranger's face remained hidden beneath a hood, but I could sense their presence, a palpable aura of danger. The figure spoke in a hushed, raspy voice. "You seek the Harvest Master, you must prove your worth." Without warning, the stranger handed me a small, ornate box. Inside, I found a syringe filled with an unknown liquid and a sinister-looking mask. The instructions were clear. Inject yourself with this serum, don the mask, and enter the chamber below. The fear gnawed at me, but my desire for answers was stronger. I injected the serum into my trembling arm, feeling an icy burn as it coursed through my veins. Then I put on the mask, which seemed to meld with my face, obscuring my identity. Descending into the chamber below, I was greeted by a ghastly sight. Rows of surgical tables lined the room, each bearing a lifeless body covered in a blood-soaked sheet. A grotesque symphony of surgical instruments lay scattered on a nearby table, glinting ominously in the dim light. As I navigated the macabre scene, I stumbled upon a hidden doorway. Beyond it, I found myself in a room filled with chilling medical records, photographs of the victims, and a list of clients willing to pay exorbitant sums for their illicit desires. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber. "You've passed the test, Seeker." I turned to see the Harvest Master himself, his face concealed behind a porcelain mask adorned with glistening crimson tears. In his gloved hand, he held a scalpel that gleamed malevolently. "You were meant to find this place," he whispered, his voice dripping with malice. "And now, you will become a part of my dark legacy." I was trapped, a pawn in the Harvest Master's game, bound to a fate that was far more horrifying than anything I had ever imagined. My descent into the dark web had led me to a nightmarish realm from which there was no escape, a world where the organ reseller held the strings of life and death, and I had become his unwitting victim. My curiosity, as always, was my greatest weakness. I placed the highest bid and watched as the timer counted down. When the auction ended, I was the sole winner. I received a message with an address and a time to pick up my prize. The rendezvous was set for a desolate alley, a place where the shadows seemed to devour the meager light of the lone lamppost. I arrived on time, my pulse quickening with anticipation and fear. A hooded figure emerged from the darkness, clutching a small wooden box. They handed it over with a chilling whisper, "The promise is yours." Back in the sanctity of my apartment, I stared at the enigmatic box. It was ornate, covered in intricate carvings that seemed to writhe like serpents. As I gingerly opened it, a cloud of noxious gas hissed forth, stinging my eyes and throat. Coughing and gasping for air, I peered inside. The contents of the box sent a shiver down my spine. Nestled within was a glass vial containing a pulsating human organ, suspended in an otherworldly shimmering liquid. It was a heart that seemed to beat with a sinister life of its own. Fear and revulsion coursed through me as I realized the gravity of what I held in my trembling hands. The whispers of the dark web had proven all too true. The box had delivered the unimaginable, Panic set in, and I questioned my sanity. Unable to comprehend the horror before me, I decided to delve deeper into the mysteries of Pandora's Promise. Late-night research led me to an underground forum where stories of similar cursed artifacts were shared. Desperate for answers, I made contact with a user known as the Occult Scholar. The Occult Scholar's response was chilling. The heart in the box is a dark offering from the Harvest Master, a harbinger of your fate. Its cursed beat will forever bind you to his sinister world. As days turned into weeks, I could feel the heart's malevolent influence seeping into my soul. Unholy nightmares plagued my sleep, visions of the Harvest Master and his gruesome deeds. My health deteriorated as the cursed heart began to siphon my vitality, leaving me weak and frail. Haunted by the relentless horrors of my own making, I knew I had to sever the sinister connection. I reached out to the Occult Scholar one last time, desperate for guidance. Their reply was simple but filled with dread. To break the curse, you must find the Harvest Master and return the heart to its rightful place. I embarked on a treacherous journey, driven by the need to break free from the curse that bound me to the Harvest Master's wicked games. The dark web had ensnared me in a web of malevolence, and my only hope lay in confronting the sinister organ reseller who had orchestrated this horrifying fate. The dark web, that shadowy realm hidden beneath the surface of the internet, beckoned me once more with its irresistible allure. I had ventured deeper into its depths than ever before, and each foray seemed to bring me closer to the abyss. It was during one such expedition that I stumbled upon a tale that would plunge me further into the enigma of the dark web. As I navigated through the labyrinthine corridors of hidden websites, a name began to circulate in hushed whispers: the Veiled Market. This wasn't your ordinary black market. It was a place where secrets, forbidden knowledge, and unimaginable deals were brokered under the veil of anonymity. The lore surrounding the Veiled Market was a tapestry of urban legends and sinister tales. People spoke of a marketplace where one could trade their deepest, darkest secrets for knowledge, power, or in some cases, a chance to change their fate. The entrance to this market was said to be a cryptic riddle, a puzzle that only the most determined could solve. Intrigued and driven by a thirst for the forbidden, I sought the entrance to the Veiled Market. Days turned into weeks as I combed through forums and sifted through encrypted messages. Finally, I received an invitation, a set of coordinates that led me to a seemingly innocuous alley in a forgotten corner of the city. The alley was shrouded in an eerie silence, and I felt as if the walls themselves held their breath, awaiting my decision. There, etched onto a nondescript brick wall, was the cryptic riddle that would grant me access. In shadows veiled, the truth concealed, a bargain struck, a soul revealed. Whisper your secrets, the cost is clear. The Veiled Market waits. Come, draw near. With trembling hands, I whispered my darkest secret to the ancient stones, surrendering it to the abyss. The ground trembled beneath me, and the brick wall began to shift and contort. A hidden passage appeared, revealing a descent into the unknown. As I ventured further into the labyrinthine passages, I discovered the Veiled Market in all its twisted grandeur. Vendors peddled their wares, which ranged from rare artifacts and forbidden tomes to more sinister offerings like stolen identities and the darkest of sorceries. Hooded figures flitted about, exchanging whispered secrets and sealed contracts. The center of the market held the most unsettling sight of all: a grand stall draped in dark velvet, a shadowy figure at its helm. They called themselves the Broker of Souls. Their promises were seductive, their offers tempting beyond belief. They possessed knowledge of my innermost desires and fears, and they dangled the keys to power and wealth before me. The broker's eyes bore into mine, and I could feel the weight of my secret weighing down on me. The allure of the Veiled Market was undeniable, but I knew the price of my desires was steep. It was a place where the line between ambition and damnation blurred, and the choices one made could lead to salvation or eternal torment. I had ventured into the darkest corners of the dark web, but the true darkness lay within ourselves, in the choices we make and the secrets we keep. The Veiled Market was a reflection of those shadows, a place where one's innermost desires were both the key and the trap, and I stood at its precipice, uncertain of the path I would choose.